Hey everybody, this is Workforce Gaming. I'm Doug, along with Brad,
Hello.
and Brad got his hands on the NHL beta,
Yes, sir.
and that's where my excitement ends. So,
not even gonna bother with how was it, or oh, that's exciting. Just a I don't
this is
care.
so outside my area of expertise in just every way, literally every way, shape, and form. Game's too complicated. I don't like hockey, and I've not touched one of these games ever. But Brad,
Well, there's Doug's review of NHL '96 through 2017.
no, I mean I do try to have an appreciation for these games. So I understand that people who play them a lot do like mine. You actually love this series. Like I think you say you like Madden a lot, but I know you actually play a ton of NHL as well.
It goes back and forth between the two. They're both yearly purchases.
So okay, so I guess from that perspective, NHL over the gen, we're now comfortable in this gen. I know from what I remember is the first NHL that came out on current gen was like kind of rocky, and then it slowly got. But now we're pretty comfortable in next gen. So what is NHL 16?
Well, 16 was 2 years ago.
What is NHL 7? Wait, why? Oh, it is
This is
2017. Wait, is this
no, it's
18
it's
then?
18. This is NHL 18. Yep.
How is NHL 18? It doesn't matter.
This is the
How's the
point
new
where
one?
we this is the point where I wish people had video of just you sitting there like I don't like struggling through every word of that.
It's so hard. I don't know what to say, man.
Oh my
How's
gosh.
the new
Anyway,
NHL? I should have started there and just stopped. How's the new
any-
NHL? Period. Go.
anyway, so the new the new NHL 18.
There we go.
So this is just a beta. So this is kind of their server test is essentially what it was. So you had three modes that you could play from this. Just your standard online versus mode, which really has been the same for years and years at this point, and that's kind of that. Okay, we know what this is. Just throw it in there. Let's not touch it. It's good. Let's not touch it. They had EA which is the create your player and join up with other people and play together on a team like 6 versus 6, which is still awesome. It's still a ton of fun. But the cool new thing with this, and it's one of the new pieces this year, is threes.
Oh yeah,
So
I remember got a text from you. It's like they're doing threes in NHL. I was like, okay. I don't know what that means. What's a threes?
so so what's a threes? So essentially what threes is in terms of actual professional hockey, they switched the All-Star game now to, instead of being traditional 5-on-5 hockey, to
Mhm.
being 3-on-3, which essentially just makes it much faster.
Okay.
So what they did with this is they pretty much turned it into an arcade mode. So you play 3-on-3, and you can play periods or you can play goal limit.
Oh, that's
So when
cool.
you when you play goal limit, you can either do with what they call it was like the money puck or something like that. You can play with it or without it. What that does is it adds score multipliers.
Oh, that's
So
okay.
randomly, like the puck will be like the next puck's worth 3 goals, or the next puck's worth two, or the next puck is worth -2 to your opponent.
Oh, that's really
Just
neat. Yeah.
randomly, which shows up, which is really really cool and kind of a different dynamic to it. But it's also super fast paced. There's Everybody just feels much faster, especially if you play as the all-star teams where you just pick the fastest best players in the league. Like the thing
Hmm.
flies back and forth. It's super quick. They took penalties out, so you get a penalty, it's just automatically a penalty shot.
Hmm.
It's just this really cool arcade mode, and it brought me right away back to the good old days of midway sports games with like
Hmm.
NHL hits and blitz and all those kind of things, because it feels very much like that. It still has all the basics of your classic NHL games, but now you've got this real arcadey feel, and it's fun, and there's not a ton of strategy to it. I mean, for the most part, if you go online and play, it's pretty much just who can deke better, because those are going to score goals right away. But it's super fast paced. It's fun. They have a different announcer, so it's like
Oh,
the
that's
old
cool.
school like NBA Jam, just like goofy shit announcer who's just like as obnoxious as possible about everything.
So
Like,
you're
oh,
making
like
me interested in this. Okay. Yeah. So but is it the same level of complexity? I mean, control wise, is it the same level of
yeah,
complexity?
they didn't touch the controls. You play the same
Okay.
controls. The only thing they did is it feels like it's kind of like sped up a bit. I don't know if it is or not, but it feels much faster.
Okay. Yeah.
And it feels like there's a little bit more leniency in terms of penalties. Like you can smash into the goal, you can do all that kind of stuff that you would be able to do in like a hits game back in the day.
Oh, okay.
But it's just one of those things it's just fun, and it's one of those cool things that I feel like NHL does a lot of that I don't feel like the other sports games do, where
Hmm.
it's we're just gonna add in this fun mode. And looking at Madden and FIFA and NBA, which are all going to like we need to have this like hard started at the bottom and
Yeah.
worked my way up to be the best superstar athlete in the world modes. And this is just like No, we're gonna give you a goofy ass announcer, put you 3-on-3, and just let you smash into each other and see what happens.
That's really cool. Okay, that actually is pretty cool. So because actually I remember, I know they're trying to do these modes because I think MLB actually had something similar. But MLB's is a little bit more extensive and being super simplified, but that kind of like
Yeah.
what are the classic mode or something like that. I was like, I kind of like that they're trying to get me. I feel like a lot of these sports fans are trying to get me interested because like we now have story mode, we now have arcade mode, we now have that. So I guess to me that actually is kind of interesting. But do you think you're going to spend a lot of time in threes, or is it just kind of a
Well,
neat mode?
over the course of the beta, I think I played 2 online versus matches, 3 or 4 matches in EASHL, and I want to say I ended up with about 35 games
Jeez.
of threes over the course of a weekend, which I was a little nervous about to start with, just because it is simpler, just because
Yeah.
you're not dealing with defensemen, you're not necessarily dealing with puck movement so much. It's a lot more just like, can you get a breakout, can you deke the goalie and score?
Okay.
But it's just fun. It's one of those things where I think once you get it, you get it. It's not
Yeah.
one of those things that you're gonna sit here and try and go like, oh, I just learned this after my 30th game. It's about 5 or 6 games and you kind of get the flow of it.
Mhm.
And I was a little worried about that, but it's so much fun that it is like those NHL hits, NFL Blitz games where it's like there's nothing complex about it. It's just fun to sit here and do this. And the games go so fast. One of the ones I was playing online, I think I played an online game in about 3.5 minutes, and that was the entire length of the game.
Oh, let's go. Okay, that's pretty cool.
Which,
Yeah.
when you compare to a normal game, it takes you closer to 30 minutes. It's much quicker. But again, depending on opponent's skill levels, it goes back and forth so much that
Mhm.
I had a game where I think you played a 5, and it was like 4-1, and I ended up losing 5-2 just because of those score multiplier pucks and everything like that. So
Oh
it also
yeah.
gives you that feeling of I'm never out of it, which ends up always being an issue in sports games where you just get people like, oh, I'm down 5-1.
Mhm.
It's the third period. I'm just going to quit out now.
Oh,
So it kind
okay,
of saves
gotcha.
that problem a little bit too, which is nice. But overall, I think it's something that is cool, and it's one of those neat additions. And it's not one of those things where it's like you should buy NHL to play threes.
That's what I was just about to ask. Like, that's no. So like, obviously it's not for me, but I mean, is this enough for you again to be like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna make my annual or semi-annual purchase, or
I mean, I would have made it anyway, but it's one of those things where it just shows me like we're not content to just make the same game. Which, as much as I love Madden and I have bought Madden every year since sometime in the '90s,
yeah.
as much as I'm going to buy that every year, they don't do things like this.
Oh, okay.
Very rarely do you have this. But NHL, I think it would have been 16. They put an NHL 96 mode, which was playing in the current gen version of it, but with the 96 arcadey controls, which were like back in like 2 buttons,
Oh, okay.
shot, pass, and
Yeah, yeah.
and movement essentially. So they do these kind of things, which is cool. And I don't know, it's a good time. I think it's not a reason to buy the game, like I said, but it's one of those cool things where it's like, okay, I played a couple. Like, this is just kind of a cool way to just play it for a second or two. Or again, I think that, like you said, trying to get other people invested,
Mhm.
it's a great thing to just sit down and go like, hey, you don't really like hockey, but this is tons of fun. Just sit down, give me 10 minutes. Let's play this one game for 10 minutes.
Yeah. I think I played like 2 games of NHL hits. I was like, I can see this being kind of fun. No, that is neat. So I mean, so are you going to buy NHL 18?
Yeah, that was happening either way.
Okay, so I was gonna ask.
They don't. The NHL games is like the one that game is solid every single year, with
Yeah.
an exception here or there. But for the most part, that you're getting a solid game every single year. And like you said, being a couple years into this generation, it's the first one or two are always sketchy, but once you get into the third and fourth one, it's smooth
Yeah.
sailing, and you're getting something good.
I think it's always funny because I always hear like all this fighting about Madden and stuff, but then everyone's like, how's NHL? It's like, pretty good. That's all. That's always just pretty good.
Yep, it is for sure.
All right, we are Workforce Gaming. If you guys like what you heard, you can always subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter at Workforce Gaming. See you guys next week.
See ya.